Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the first edition of Blue and Gold Weekly. It's our new weekly social media show bringing you the inside scoop on Hofstra athletics. I'm your host, Kevin Dexter. Every week, we'll catch you up on highlights from the past week, take a look at the week ahead, bring you interviews with special guests, and much, much more as the 2025-26 season rolls along. Well, this week, the fall season kicked off on a high note here on campus with a pair of wins for the Hofstra women's soccer team. Let's take a look at how they did it. On Thursday night, the Pride welcomed in St. Joseph's and found themselves trailing it 1-0 at halftime, but that's when they came alive. First, in the 66th minute, off a set piece, it was Gabriella Marte connecting with Olivia Pierce for the Pride's first goal of the season. It stayed that way until the final seconds when Hofstra had one last chance. Maggie Peterson, a beautiful ball into the box, connecting with Haley Machida, who heads it home with just 5.6 seconds on the clock. A thrilling ending. Machida giving the Pride a 2-1 win over St. Joe's to open the season in a game they outshot the Hawks 22-2. Well, they tried to follow it up on Sunday against a very good Quinnipiac squad, and this time they struck in the first half. After Maggie Peterson was taken down in the box, the Pride were awarded a penalty kick, and it was Olivia Pierce who did the honors, her second goal in as many games, earning her the CAA's Offensive Player of the Week award. Pride were up 1-0. The second half belonged to transfer Manin Labargi. In her second game in a Pride uniform, Labargi finished off this beautiful feed from Matilda Braithwaite. That made it 2-0, and later in the half, Labargi on the corner gets a friendly bounce off a member of the Bobcats for her second goal of the game. Pride win it 2-0 to open up their season 2-0. Now it's on the road for Hofstra this week. They'll take on a pair of Ivy League schools Friday at Columbia and Sunday at Yale. Well, here on campus, it's the start of the season for the 4-time defending CAA champion Hofstra men's soccer team this week, and it will be the final season at the helm for head coach Richard Nuttall. Entering his 37th season, Coach Nuttall announced this month he will be stepping down as head coach after the season. Associate head coach Stephen Roach has been named the new head coach of the program beginning in 2026. I had a chance to sit down with Coach Nuttall last week to talk about the decision and preview 2025 for the Hofstra men's soccer team. They've won 4 straight CAA championships. The head coach, Richard Nuttall of the Hofstra men's soccer team, entering year 37 as the head coach here, and it will be your last as the head coach. Why now? Why make that decision?
You know, sometimes I think you just feel the time is right, and when you put the equation together, my children are a little bit older. My assistants here are magnificent, and in the search of wanting to find a little bit more time for myself, my family, my wife, and knowing that the assistants are brilliant, it was the right time, and I'm comfortable with that. You know, I thought, could I go on another 5-10 years? Yes, but I do believe that the time is right where it's time for me to support them as leaders of the Hofstra soccer program, and they've been supporting me enough, so I'm so happy for them, I'm happy for me, and it's just the right time.
Well, now going into this season, knowing it's going to be the last time you do everything as a head coach, do you have any different emotions as you get started?
No, believe it or not, I'm more excited than I've ever been, and it's a drug. It gets you. The season gets you. You just want to play the games. I wish we had a game every day. You know, I love being with the young men who are, you know, we choose our players carefully, and they're great young men, and I love being around the coaches, I love being around the players, I love being in this environment. It's just a joy to come to work. I really enjoy coming to work, and more than ever, even if it's the 37th year, it's still a wonderful thing.
Well, Stephen Roach obviously has been with you a long time.
Yeah.
Sean Foster as well. Does the way you guys work now with Stephen taking over the program next year, is that going to change at all this year for you?
Not really. You know, it's one man, one vote. There's 3 of us. I have the right to veto. I don't use it very often because they're bright young men. They're brighter than I'll ever be, and they're great at what they do. So, you know, we talk about everything, and again, it's very rare that I overrule the whole situation, but they're just very, very good at their job. They're great at the X's and O's. They're great trainers, they're great communicators, great educators, and it's same as it's been for the last few years. We work together as a three, we make joint decisions, and I don't think anything's going to change, hopefully, in the next 3 or 4 months. And then when I'm gone, they can do what they want, can't they?
Well, we mentioned it off the top, of course, 4 straight CAA championships. You, of course, want to go out on top, win a 5th straight, go back to the NCAAs. How do you think the team is going to be able to handle that kind of pressure?
Look, winning is incredibly hard, and what I think we do well, we choose good people as well as good soccer players, and I think the year before we lost 6 or 7 starters and still managed to win a championship. We've actually, I believe, lost, I'll say 7.5 starters this year, maybe 8. And I believe we've chosen good people, but you've always got to have a little bit of luck that these people gel together. You've got to have a little bit of luck with injuries, and hopefully the bounce of the ball go the right way a few times. It's not easy. Every team you play can beat you. And if you are not on the ball, if you are not emotionally ready, you can get beat by any team on the schedule. So we've just got to do as we normally do, prepare incredibly well. We're organised, we've got a great group of lads. Hopefully we'll stay okay on the injury front, and I believe we've got a good team. I don't know about a great team, but great teams evolve and progress over the season. So hopefully we will evolve and we will progress.
You mentioned you lose a lot of pieces from last year. Yeah. And the guys that stick out, the ones that were with you for so long, like Pierce and Rock, guys who were here for 5 years. How are you able to kind of fill the shoes just from a leadership perspective?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a concern. We've lost Rock and Pierce, as you've just said, who were incredible young men, and that Owen Farrell was a great leader too. And you just hope that it comes from within and from what you're bringing in, that we've brought a couple of older players in, and so far so good. There's people, standing up and being counted emotionally, and they're taking a leadership role. We'll hopefully be able to announce captains in a few weeks, a couple of weeks before the first game, and we've got some good people there. And I think it's the culture hopefully just goes from last year to this year and to next year and keeps on going. We try and set a standard situation each year, and we don't change much. The culture doesn't change much, it's just the people within it, and we hope the people adapt, and they seem to be doing a good job so far.
So who are some of those guys you expect to step up and play big roles on this team this year?
Well, new guys, I would say, again, they're all doing quite well. Daniel Burko is an obvious one. He came to us in the January, in the spring, and he's been doing well. Laurie Goddard we expect as a returning player. There's a couple of defenders who are very good, Pacheco, and the new guy Pietro Santi, who looks good, and a Polish lad called Jan, who I can't pronounce his last name, but he's a great kid. And I mean, I could go around the whole squad. Owen Barnett's returning, and we've got a couple of other young freshmen who we think might be okay. So again, there's 5 or 6 or 7 leaders. Let's see who really take the forefront in the next week or two.
What is your key to having a successful season?
Just togetherness. That's all it is. It's all about togetherness. I often think we individually, if you look at us, we're very similar to most other teams, but I think our togetherness, and I think that's a lot of the credit needs to go to Roach and Hofstra because of how they train, how they work with people, and they solidify us. They put us in a great unit, both a unit defensively and a unit offensively, and with our philosophy together, I think we play exciting attacking soccer, yet we do play in an organised manner that's rock solid.
Well, lastly, you have so many supporters out there in the community. What is your message to them as you enter this kind of final year?
Well, can I say I've been overwhelmed in the last day with so much, so many people with so many great wishes, and I thank everybody for that. It is overwhelming, and I just, keep supporting us, come in and enjoy the games and be there. The best thing you can do is come to the games. And if you can't get to the games, send us messages. And we're looking forward to representing you, and we're excited again.
Well, Coach, thanks as always for a few minutes. Good luck this year. We hope you go out on a high note.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
It's always great to chat with the great Richard Nuttall. The Pride open up their season here in Hempstead on Thursday night when they take on Bucknell. That'll be followed by a local matchup against St. John's under the lights on Sunday night. Both games begin at 7 p.m. Be sure to come out here to Captain's Field and support the Pride. Well, that'll do it for this first ever edition of Blue and Gold Weekly. We'll be back next week with another episode as the Pride field hockey and volleyball teams begin their seasons. Thanks for watching.